Okay, folks, we're here at FanFest 5 with Omasis. We're going to have a great event today. How's it going, brother?
It's going very well. I mean, it's amazing. New England FanFest is killer, man. I mean, you got all the fans here, all the wrestlers, all the guys that I've seen growing up. You know who I want to see? I want to see Debo, a.k.a. Hercules. I want to see him. You know, it was awesome. I seen him in the movie Friday. It was awesome.
That's right. We got Goldberg here.
Ah, yes, Goldberg. You know, he scares me.
We got Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette, he scares me too.
Okay, what about Jim Ross, Howard Finkel?
Oh, I love those guys. Especially, I love his barbecue sauce. It's so delicious.
And we got the Divas here today.
Where?
Maria Kanellis, Jasmine St. Clair,
Wow,
Crystal Marshall.
Wow, stop, I'm sweating.
It is getting kind of hot in here.
Very, very, oh man, yes.
So what would you like to say about your experience here at FanFest 5 before all the fans?
Oh, I'm having a lovely time. I mean, New England is awesome. They've been awesome to Ricardo. They've been awesome to the Osirian Portal. I love New England. I'm glad to be here. I'm having a great time.
All right, folks, stay tuned. More here of FanFest 5. I just caught up right now with Alex, the Pug Porto at FanFest 5. Alex, how do you like coming here to New England?
Oh, it's great. It's been several years since I've been up here, but a lot of great fans up here. You know, we ran Madison Square Garden in Providence, Springfield, Massachusetts, 96, 97, and since then I haven't been back, but a lot of great fans up here.
Now, up here, up north, we got to see you on the GWF one. You, ESPN, the Global Wrestling Federation, all kind of great stuff. Booker T, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. What was that experience like in Texas when you were starting out with the GWF?
Well, it was probably one of the best times in my career. I was probably 21, 22 years old there. And like you said, Booker T, you know, Stevie Ray, Ahmed Johnson came out of there, Bradshaw, a lot of good talent. Undertaker came out of there, Mark Calloway. You know, that was that's where I started in 1987 with the Von Erichs here in World Class. So, and then eventually came into Global Wrestling Federation, and really enjoyed it, man. It was a great time. I actually went back and forth over to Japan quite a bit from that area with Kendo Nagasaki being in Dallas. He came down and pulled a lot of talent out of there. So had a great time in Texas. It was great. I
am one of the biggest Von Erich fans there are. I have a world-class tribute site. I've been such a big fan of that. Tell me what the experience was like working with the Von Erich family, working with Fritz, being at the Sportatorium in Dallas. I mean, us here, we got to watch on ESPN, but you got to live it, you got to do it. What was the experience like with the Von Erich boys?
You know, it was great. I mean, you know, those guys, they were a big inspiration in the locker room. They always had good builds. I mean, they were hard workers. You know, and they were gods in Texas. I mean, that's just all there was to it. You know, I worked with a lot of great talent in there, starting out Jimmy Jack Funk, Al Perez, you know, Kerry and Kevin Von Erich, Chris Von Erich. So I had the honor to be in the ring with a lot of guys, and I was, you know, probably 17, 18 years old back then. And I was still in high school, so I was on their amateur wrestling team in high school, and I was on TV for World Class Championship Wrestling. So very few guys ever get in the business.
You must have been the most popular guy in school. You go to all the chicks. I mean, how did that work out for you?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I was doing TV in Texas. I'd come back to Louisiana Monday morning, and all my classmates were like, "Wow, man, we saw you on TV, you know, Saturday morning or Saturday night, whatever it was." But yeah, it was great, man. I couldn't ask for a better start. And, Dallas, Texas was very good to me.
All right, Alex, I want to thank you so much for your time. It is a complete honor. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Alex the Pug Porto. All right, folks, joining me right now is the one and only Hall of Famer, Rich Paladino. Rich, tonight you're doing so much. You're doing the Q&A sessions with Goldberg, Eric Bischoff. You're co-hosting the Hall of Fame ceremony with Howard Finkel. Tell us what's going to happen today.
It doesn't get any better than this. It's FanFest 5. If you've never been to a FanFest, by the time they see this, we'll be promoting FanFest 6. You got to come down. Picture Comic-Con, but with wrestlers. Much cooler.
Now, you're saying it takes me a long time to edit. That's basically what you're saying. It takes me a year to produce this stuff?
Is this live? Are we doing it live?
We're pre-tape right now.
Is this like a Mark Sherman? We're doing it live?
No,
not at all.
How do you maintain being in the business this long without putting a gun to your head? That's what I want to know.
I love it. I just love it. There have been plenty of nights and days where I've wanted to put that bullet in my head, but I'm living a dream. This is all I've ever wanted to do. It's not Madison Square Garden, but it's it's a pretty cool.
Well, unlike the boys who are in competition with each other, you have no competition. You are the voice of the voiceless. You are the #1 ring announcer in the history of New England wrestling. I mean, who do you have competition? It's not like there's another ring announcer. I mean, if I decided I was going to do ring announcing, I'd be your only suitable competition.
That would be quite the competition. But let's not forget, Bobby Cruz is here.
That's true.
We got heat. We got heat. Son of a gun nut shot at me a couple months ago. We're doing a little thing down the XWA. ROH is invading, so now it's enemy territory. Yeah, 2 shows ago, nut shot.
FanFest 5, who are you happy to see here today? We got Goldberg, Jim Ross, we got Gentleman James E. Who is on your bucket list for today?
Lita.
That's it?
No, Lita. I'm really happy to see Jim Cornette's here. Zbyszko, as you had said. But honestly, Scott Hall, who looks fantastic. Jim Ross is the one. Jim Ross and Mean Gene. Those are my photo
I
ops.
saw a guy got a picture with both of them last night. I was mad. I should have been here. I mean, that's the photo op that me and Rich are looking for. So Mean Gene and Ross stay together because we got 2 announcers here that want that photo opportunity. Jim, an honor. I called you Jim. See, now you get me all going in. Rich Paladino, the Hall of Famer, the living legend, the one and only Rich Paladino.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, I just caught up right now with Oscar of Men on a Mission. Oscar's here at FanFest 5, one of the many legends you can meet here today. Oscar, how does they come back to Massachusetts, brother?
Man, well, first of all, we in Rhode Island, but same thing. I'm glad to be here. This area is the best New England, New York area. Always the best because that's one of the best regions of the planet that show Men on a Mission the most love.
All right, today's episode I want to dedicate to the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, that we just lost recently, along with a couple of other legends. You said you had a good Dusty Rhodes story. Why don't you share us your Dusty story?
It pains my heart that he's one of the only people that I didn't get to actually meet. But when I was growing up in New York, my father introduced me to wrestling. It came on WWOR TV Channel 9 in New York when I was about 10 years old. And then what we would do in the summertime is we would go down south. Now, between the 2 regions, you know, I was a fan of Bruno Sammartino, Abdullah the Butcher, the Grand Wizard, you know, that came on in New York. But down south, it was people like Austin Idol, it was Mike Graham, Steve Kern, Mr. Wrestling 2. But Dusty Rhodes was my favorite. The charisma, the way he wrestled, everything about him. Dusty Rhodes made me a fan of wrestling. So fast forward that to that fateful day at Caesar's Palace when I saw Macho Man Randy Savage and I went and did the rap and got my job. The point is, if I had not been a fan of wrestling, I would not be here today, and Dusty Rhodes made me a fan.
That's a fantastic story. That's really great. I just want to ask you, who are some of the guys you're glad to see here today at FanFest?
Well, I just ran into my nemesis, counterpart manager Jim Cornette. That was a thrill. Looking forward to seeing Howard Finkel because that's another good story. When I was a child and I went to Madison Square Garden to see wrestling, Howard Finkel would announce legends to the ring like Bruno, and he announced Dusty and Andre the Giant. So fast forward 20-some-odd years later, Howard Finkel's announcing Oscar of Men on a Mission coming down that aisle at Madison Square Garden, WrestleMania 10, and so everything in life goes full circle. Howard is definitely a full circle for me. I tell him that story every time I see him. I love me some Howard Finkel.
All right, let's close it out with a rap. What can you do for us?
What's the name of the show?
The Bob Show.
The Bob Show. The Mac Daddy, yo, and we're here with the mob. You're on the Bob Show, and I'm here with Bob. We are the ones, and forget the rest. You're here with Oscar, and we're at FanFest. We're at FanFest, and we're kicking it live. You're watching Bob Show with FanFest 5.
Okay, folks, I caught up right now with one of the greatest WWE Hall of Famers of all time, Greg the Hammer Valentine. Greg, we're here at the New England FanFest 5. How do you like being back here in Massachusetts?
A lot of memories from this building next door, you know, Providence Civic Center. Had a lot of great matches. Feels good.
You and Brutus the Barber Beefcake, the Dream Team, the Boston Garden, so many great memories there. What were your thoughts? We just asked Jimmy about the Boston Garden. What were your thoughts about that?
The old Boston Garden, and I guess they just built the Fleet Center, whatever they call it now. Changed a bunch of different names, but build it right over the top of it, but it's still got the same floor. Man, oh man, 1979 to like 93, I was in the Boston Garden every month. I mean, that's a long run. A lot of good memories.
You're the man that broke Wahoo McDaniel's leg, and you wear the shirt, I broke Wahoo's leg, with a figure 4 leg lock, one of the most devastating maneuvers in professional wrestling. What was that experience like, breaking Wahoo's leg?
Well, you know, there's a couple of, well, I should say it's a group called the Mountain Goats, and they came out with a song. They're out of California. They came out with a song about breaking legs. They told Greg Valentine didn't care about winning matches. All he wanted to do was just break legs, break legs, break legs. You look back at my career, and there's Tito Santana, there's Chief Jay Strongbow, there's Ronnie Garvin, there's Chief Wahoo McDaniel. Look at all these guys I put down with breaking the legs. And plus a lot of no-names. It's a fantastic career.
And you've had a fantastic career. What is one of the greatest memories you want to say of your career that you've had that stands out in Greg Valentine's mind?
Well, man, there's so many of them. I'll mention two of them. The first time I ever wrestled in Madison Square Garden, you know, because I'm from Seattle, and you hear about Madison Square Garden, oh my God, you know, so I realized I'd reached the top when I got there and wrestled Bob Backlund. And then also in Madison Square Garden when they put me in the Hall of Fame in 2004. So those two stand out. You know.
Fantastic. Greg, I want to thank you so much for what you've done for the fans, entertaining us for 3-4 decades.
Yes.
Incredible career. We want to thank you so much for what you've done for us. Ladies and gentlemen, FanFest 5 with the one and only Greg the Hammer Valentine. All right, folks, I just caught up with the one and only Ricardo Rodriguez. FanFest 5, we're having a great time with all the legends. Ricardo, who are some of the legends you're glad to see here today?
I'm actually in between Howard Finkel and Tony Atlas, so that's just the beginning. And right in front of me is Bill Goldberg. So we have a bunch of Mean Gene. We have here, I know John Morrison. Right, let me see. A lot of independent promotions, Chikara, the guys from some of the guys from CCW. So it's a mixture of the old and the new, which is great.
Let me ask you, who were some of the people that influenced you? Who were some of the guys that got you into business? The reason that you wanted to join the pro wrestling world?
It's not a hidden fact that I was a late bloomer when it comes to American wrestling. I grew up with Lucha Libre since I was a little kid. That's all I knew. So for me, Ultimo Dragon, Rey Mysterio, Atlantis, Octagon, Máscara Sagrada, but I want to say like Rey was a big influence, and it was great that several years later I got to be in the ring with him. So I even had a match with him. So like that was something that I'm very proud of.
I think a lot of fans are proud of the way that Alberto Del Rio stood up for himself, his departure, but he stood up for himself. He stood up to a bully. And I think a lot of people are proud of that. What is your opinion of that, you guys' run there and the way it went out?
Well, the run itself was great because they shot us to the moon from the beginning, and in 4 years that we were there, we did together 2 WrestleManias, the Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble, and 4 world titles, but he never held any other title aside from the top ones. So that was great. As far as the exit, you know, it happens. I don't agree with it, but you know, I mean, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So I'm still thankful for the opportunity that they gave me.
Now, I saw your shoot interview. You're still wrestling in California, all around other promotions. You're trying to better skill yourself as a wrestler.
Yes.
How's that going?
It's been going great. I just did Australia, the tour in Australia. I did England and then Germany. I've been doing Puerto Rico, Carlos Colon's. I even won one of their titles. I did AAA. And then, yeah, definitely California. I come up to the New York area quite a bit. I'm still thankful that I'm all over the place. So it's been going great.
I just want to know, could you give us a little introduction for my shows, The Bob Show? And if you give us a little introduction.
I've been wanting to stay away from that for a while. So I'm going to have to deny this, and I'm sorry. So I want to start getting away from that. And most it because I've done it a bunch of times already? So.
I wasn't the first guy to ask this, apparently, but I am going to be the last. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank him for his time, the one and only Ricardo Rodriguez. All right, folks, joining me right now is the greatest manager in pro wrestling history, the mind behind the Mayhem and the Midnight Express, promoter of Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and the future Hall of Famer, the one and only gentleman, James E. Cornette.
Look at here, you read it just like I wrote it. Wait a minute, send me a bill. I need a receipt on that.
But Jim, we had an agreement.
Yes, just send me the receipt and I'll have some paperwork on it and I'll have a paper trail.
Jim,
I promise you'll get the check in the mail.
So glad to have you here in Massachusetts.
Thank you.
We don't get to have you come down here. You're going into the Hall of Fame tonight. This is how much
I am?
All right, maybe you're inducting somebody.
I don't know this.
All right, well, I'm putting you in our Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you're inducted already.
All right.
Because you are the legendary icon.
Well, there you go.
One of the greatest minds in our industry.
Yes.
You still believe in the tradition and the old school values
Yes,
that we
I
no
do.
longer have today.
Yes,
That
yes.
we need
Yes.
in 2015.
Yes.
So when are you going to start promoting it and putting the company back together and let's give them back old?
Oh, I can't do that. No, I'm not responsible for anybody but me now. I don't promote, I don't matchmake, I don't book, and I don't babysit. I'm in the Jim Cornette business, and I appreciate all the kind words, but I'm older now, and I'm looking into gardening as a hobby.
My name is Bob. Can you give me an intro, beautiful Bobby, the old Midnight Express intro for us?
Well, now, if I called you beautiful, I'd be guilty of false advertising. But I'll tell you what, Bob is the most cataclysmic individual that's ever stepped foot in a professional wrestling ring. The girth alone indicates that he can smash, trash, and crash any other competitor half his size. And you can also whip any paraplegic and any woman under the age of 14.
Wow, that is the greatest compliment I ever got in my life. It is so great to have you here. I want to thank you so much for your time, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. It's been a pleasure being had.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, the God, the icon, Jim Cornette.
What could I have? All these people in the world.
Can you tell us one of your memories headlining the Boston Garden steel cage matches against the magnificent Don Morocco, going up against Bob Backlund for the WWE Championship? What are your great memories of the old Boston Garden?
You know, brother, that's
Thank you.
back in them days, the Boston Garden, it was different from every garden there is. But you know what, brother? The Brown is always thinking about the right thing to do. And that right thing is to do is to be like this. You have to be focused on what the plan is. The Superfly Jimmy Snuka always has. When he gets in the ring, when he gets in that ring, brother, ladies and gentlemen, Superfly always got something for the people guys out there.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, the Hall of Famer, Jimmy the Superfly Snuka.